Hey, middle-aged musician here, wearing last year's Appalachian Bear Rescue t-shirt. I know I keep plugging them. I have no affiliation with them other than I give them money every month. Great organization. I did get my new shirt for this year, so pumped about that. But anyway, I wanted to talk today about my Electro Harmonix QTron envelope filter. These are funky little devices. If you're a fan of Parliament, you're going to like these. Or Grateful Dead. Jerry Garcia used a MuTron. So, envelope filters. Envelope filters are kind of related to WAHs. I think that the relationship between the two gets overstated a little bit. But in terms of what effects do, you've got dirt pedals, you've got delay pedals, etc. Envelope filters and WAHs are similar, and they're in the same family. So this is Electro Harmonix came out with the QTron quite a while ago, and it's similar to the MuTron. The MuTron I bring up a couple times. That's maybe the most infamous envelope filter of all. Jerry Garcia, the Grateful Dead, used one. In other notable players, I think they had their peak season probably in the 70s and early 80s, but they have their own thing. So they do this kind of this thing. They do it well, and so they're an interesting thing to add to your pedal board. If you get down to the desert island pedal board and you have like 5 pedals that you need, it's like, well, okay, I want a distortion pedal, I want a fuzz pedal, I want a delay pedal, I want a reverb pedal, and a wah or a compressor or whatever else floats your boat, noise gate. Depends a little bit on what amp you select too. Outside of the fact that there's no guarantee you have power out in this island, but your desert island pedal board, this is probably not going to make it, right? This is superfluous. It does this thing, it does it well, and it's not this everyday sound, but you'll hear it in funk, bass players, you'll hear it, that kind of funky Parliament sort of thing. You'll hear it with Jerry Garcia in a certain period of time, late 70s, early 80s, you'll hear that MuTron kick on, and that's kind of what got me interested in it. The QTron looks like it has a lot of bells and whistles, but it's a little more straightforward. It does take 24 volts, in and out, foot switch. It has this mode, and so the mode, you have LP, BP, HP, and mix, and it really has a lot to do with the frequency that you're working with. Also, it has sweep up and down, which has to do, again, this is an envelope filter. So if you think about your signal and the envelope, and the filter is cutting off certain parts of it, so which parts of it is cutting off? Excuse me. Range, high and low. You can, again, think of that in terms of frequency. Peak. So again, you really need to think in terms of your waveform and the envelope and where you are applying the filter. So, this is a peak frequency. If you had like an oscilloscope and you knew how oscilloscopes work, this would make a lot of sense. Synth players, modular synth players, they'll understand this right away. But that's what peak has to do with. Gain, and then there's this optional boost, on or off. So you can get a little bit of drive with this pedal as well, which is an interesting feature. When I bought this, I was split between this and its sibling, the QTron Plus. And there's a subtle but important difference between the two, other than price. This is what you see. We get. This is a kind of bare bones-ish, retro-ish pedal. The QTron Plus has an effects loop. Switchable effects loop. So you can put other effects in here. And I'm not sure at which point I'm pretty sure gain and boost are after, so I would guess that somewhere around range and peak is where the in and out comes in. I'm spitballing here. I don't know for certain, but you could put another pedal in here, something that does a filter, something that does a drive, trying to think what else you could do, but you could put other. You could essentially put a whole set of pedals in an in and out and use this like kind of like I'd use a effects loop on an amp on the QTron Plus. At the time, I thought, I don't need all that stuff. So believe it or not, with all this stuff I have, I used to be a minimalist. So I just went for bare bones stuff. More knobs, more confusing, more I don't want to deal with it. And that was my approach. In retrospect, I kind of wish that I would have bought the QTron Plus because I'll eventually probably end up buying one and selling this one off. Just to see what other options gives me. Options are good, right? You don't have to use the extra options. It's not like you're setting yourself up for, a subscription service for something that you're never going to use. No, you don't have to use it. You use it or not. So anyway, being one of my favorite words, that is the introduction to the electric Harmonix QTron. A neat, worthwhile pedal to check out. I noodled around with it. I actually haven't played this pedal for maybe 4 years. So I'm a little rusty with getting around on it. So I was trying to reacquaint myself with it tonight in a little bit on the bass, which I think there's a separate one for the bass, the frequency levels. Again, if you're dealing with frequency cutoffs, this isn't the best one for the bass, but I was playing around with it a little bit on the bass, playing around a little bit on the guitar. There were some things I used to do with it. I couldn't quite remember what I used to do, but I was just noodling around. Show it to you guys. Again, I don't think this is something you're going to find on a lot of pedal boards, but it's a fun, unique little thing, and hopefully you find your own little niche. But I would say if you have the option to try out the QTron Plus, give it a shot. I wish I would have. So anyway, that's it for today's mini episode, and I will catch you all later. The Doom Off is still going on. We actually had 5 late contenders show up last minute. We had to cut off when pedals come in. So, Walpurgis, I'm talking to you. But yeah, there's a couple more Fuzzlord effects coming in, and 2 more Fuzzlord effects, and 3 more of Does It Doom, which I think is about their entire line of single knob stuff. There's a couple of clean boosts that people brought up to be in this, and I don't think a clean boost is really going to be appropriate. So I may have mentioned this. What I'm going to do, these guys are going into the clean channel of the Splon, and we can also do a little A/B with the dirty channel on the Splon, and we can also do a little bit of testing dirt channel with the pedals. But we have a variety of different styles. Some of these are octave fuzzes, some of these are recreations of Sun amps, Mad Amp GT120s, things like that, preamp sections. There's a number of different things that some of these pedals do, but a clean boost is not really appropriate here, I think. And I've seen 4 clean boosts already brought up, and so we're not doing that. But anyway, stay tuned. I think we're probably a week or 2 out from everybody arriving. And like I said, we went from 10 to 15 pedals, and then we had to stop. That's as many. Although if you have a single knob distortion, fuzz, etc., you'd like me to try out, I'll try it out. You can ship it to me. I'll ship it back. Whatever. So anyway, that's the end of today's episode. I will chat with y'all later, and thank you. Bye. So yeah, a little bit with the bass there. I'm gonna bring out the guitar. One of the things I'm just gonna forewarn you about, because of the nature of what this pedal does, it's a little bit of a wild card when you're going through the settings. When you find kind of the setting you want, you can do a lot. But when you're going through various settings, you get a lot of peaks, and so it's going to overdrive the interface a little bit here and there. This is a pedal that definitely, if you're going to change settings, if you're using this in a live fashion, where you're going to maybe use it for more than a one-trick pony sort of thing, a compressor is probably your best friend. The QTron Plus, maybe with the compressor, that'd be interesting to see in line. Does it even it out? But it is wildly all over the board in terms of the gain levels. And you have a gain knob, but again, if you're just sitting there twisting the knobs, and I'm doing this in real time, I'm not cherry picking, oh, I like this setting. I'm just, playing around with the knobs, showing what they do, and you'll see where it just goes all over the place. And because of the nature of what it's doing, manipulating the envelope, which is literally manipulating your guitar signal, in the gain and in the frequencies and where the cutoffs are, what gets sent on and what gets cut off. That's the nature of the pedal. So anyway, it's a forewarning. I thought about just editing it down and cherry picking stuff, but hey, I'll let you guys decide. That's just how I roll. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.